We got a special guest rocking with us this morning in studio. The one and only Tony Rock. How you doing, sir?
Good morning, everybody. How you doing?
What's going on, man?
Sir. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Tony's going to be at Goodnight's Comedy Friday night and Saturday night, tonight and tomorrow night. The 7:30 show on Saturday night's already sold out.
Yeah. Oh, nice. They should all be sold out, but we'll take what we can get.
It's already sold out.
They'll be sold out by the end of this.
That's exactly right.
By the end of this segment, they'll definitely be sold out.
Exactly.
7:30 on tonight and 10 p.m. and 10 p.m. on Saturday night. Make sure you guys go check them out. I'm telling you, man, you don't want to miss this. How you doing, man?
It's
you doing
a show,
all right?
bro. It's a show. It's definitely a lot of stuff to talk about comedically these days.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff going on, and
Yeah.
we have to address it all. That's what comedians do.
Do I
We're
need
news
to get
reporters? We just report with a comedian.
Do I need to get special clearance now to get through? You run background checks to get people in?
Nah. You take a chance if you want to.
May not work out well for you.
Not gonna work out for you.
Wash your arms.
How was last night?
Oh, we had a great show last night.
Yeah.
Great show last night. It was a young lady in the audience. Well, when I arrived at the venue last night, she was sitting in her car.
Okay.
And she was talking really low, like, hey, and I'm like walking in the venue. What are you saying? And she's like, long story short, her son was in the car.
Right.
And he said he didn't feel like being around people.
Oh,
he's like, she said he was going through a depression and he didn't feel like being around people and he didn't want to come to the show. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? And she's like, can you go talk to him? I said, well, if he's not listening to you, he's not listening to me.
Right.
But I walked over to the car and he really did look depressed. And I'm like, is it about a girl? Like, you want to talk about it?
Right.
And I asked about a couple of questions and he didn't really want to talk. And I'm like, hey, how about we make a deal? You come inside and see the show, which is going to be a fire show.
Right.
And I'll get you a drink. Like, she was like, he's 19. I'm like, well, I'll get you a soda and get you a meal, and I'll treat your mother to a meal and a drink.
Wow.
So now if you don't come in, your mother's not going to eat. And I'm like, you got a deal? And he came in. And when the show was over, I said, hey, where's the young man that was outside earlier? And he was sitting off to the right. And I'm like, did you have fun? And he's smiling on his face like, yeah, I had a great time, man.
That's cool.
I'm like, see, look at that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
When you laugh sometimes, it kind of takes you out of
It's
that
healing.
moment, man.
It's healing.
Very healing.
Yeah.
Laughter is the spirit of the world.
I get healed every Friday.
I know.
I get healed every Friday. We're talking with Tony Rock, who's going to be at Goodnight tonight and tomorrow night, 7:30 on Friday, 10 p.m. on Friday on tonight, and 10 p.m. on tomorrow night. So tell people what they can expect when they come to the show.
I am covering a vast subject of topics. Of course, comedically you have to cover pop culture. You have to cover, what's going on in your life. You have to cover relationships because a lot of comics, if you realize, talk about relationships because that's when you encompass most of the crowd.
Right.
Everybody in the room can relate to relationship material because they're going through it, went through it, survived it, or they're on a collision course with what you're talking about. You talk about relationships and you get the majority of the people, to tune in and really lock into what you're saying because they understand, they relate.
Wow.
Awesome. We're talking to the hardest working man
I
in
am,
show
yes.
business.
James Brown gave me the title.
Actor,
And the
producer,
cape.
Pass it on.
Tony Rock.
James Brown said, take this cape.
That's
All right,
right.
got it.
With stand-up comedy, you've been known to say is your first love. So that's a good segue from relationships. How and when did you fall in love with stand-up comedy?
Early. My parents had an incredible record collection, and I would go through the records and listen to Richard Pryor and Bill Cosby and George Carlin. And I would go to school the next day and tell all the jokes on the school bus. And one day the teacher caught me telling Richard Pryor jokes on the school bus. I didn't do any edits.
Right.
And my mother taught at the school I went to. So the teacher told my mother, and my mother said, you can't do that. That's his job. He gets to do this. And then I saw Richard Pryor on TV shortly after that, and I was like, wait, that's the guy from the record. And he said, yeah, he does movies and TV shows and makes records. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. Where do I sign up?
What do we do?
And the next day, my mother's waking my siblings up for school, and I'm in bed like, I'm good, right? Because I don't have to go to school. I already know what I want to do. I want to be a comedian. So
He said, I'm good.
I don't have to go to school anymore. It's like, if you don't get out that bed, you be a dead comedian. But that's when the love started. And then my brother started before me because big bros do everything first.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Big brothers do everything first. And
Right.
you shouldn't shy away from something because your big brother already did it. Because
That's a good point.
then you wouldn't do anything. He was driving first. He was dating first. He was, so. And then when he started, that really made it real because then now it's a guy I actually know that does it. I never knew Richard Pryor or Eddie or George or. They were just, ideals to me. But my brother, the guy right next to me, is like, okay, now it's real. Now I really believe I can do it.
Well, Tony, do you ever consult with your brothers about bits or topics, or you guys just create that on your
Yeah, we
own?
do mostly on our own. But then when we see each other's show, it's, hey, man,
Okay.
that's something.
Oh, okay.
You got something there, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good stuff, man. You know what? You was doing the BET's Black Card Revolt. And I was checking
yeah.
Talk about that. That was kind of weird, man.
I don't know that we did. I think we did maybe 10 episodes.
Yes,
of that.
yeah.
BET is just so they do such things such haphazardly.
Yeah.
But it was a great show based on a board game.
Yeah.
That they pitched as a show, and they will for some reason the people that were pitching the show were like, who do you guys see as a host? And they said Tony Rock, and I'm like, let's do it. I'll take that check.
like book it.
And it was basically the premise was certain things that are innately black.
Sure.
That black people just, even white people or other races know that black people are known for.
Yeah.
So it was just testing your knowledge on those things.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
You know, you don't eat what at a black person's house unless you know who made it. Potato salad. Yeah.
Boom.
One more.
One more. I don't eat anything at a black person's house unless I know who cooked it.
Exactly.
I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid.
That's the right answer.
I want to know who made everything. And I want to see them too. I need the fat aunt, not the skinny aunt.
You got Big Mama now.
Yeah.
Big Mama coming at you good there, right?
Big Mama, I eat anything Big Mama cooks.
You don't even look at it no more. You're like, go ahead, whatever she put on there.
But the skinny aunt, no. I'm not eating your potato salad, skinny aunt.
Sometimes potato salad always comes up, doesn't it?
The skinny aunt that doesn't eat meat.
Yeah. The vegan aunt, I'm not eating nothing you brought.
Nah.
I'm not eating anything that you brought.
Even her own kids. Even her own kids won't eat that. They don't want to do it. We're talking with Tony Rock, who's going to be at Goodnight Friday tonight and Saturday night, tomorrow night. Man, we're having a good time. So you got this being a family business,
yes.
right?
Yes.
You guys are all, you've been doing this for a while. Do you guys ever go back home? This weekend's Mother's Day, right? So you guys ever go on, you'll be sitting around and just kind of think to yourselves like, man, how in the heck did we get here?
Oh yeah. Well, yes, in very many aspects. So first, sometimes we get together for holidays, we look at like, wow, look at where we've come.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the first thing. Like, man, we really did it.
And mom still be talking to you like like you didn't clean up the room.
Oh no, mom, you can never be too big for mom.
Ever.
I'm like my brother hosts the Oscars, and she's like, you doing dishes tomorrow? Like, I don't care. Mom, I just sold out my whole weekend in Raleigh, and the trash is very appreciative of you selling out your shows. Exactly. You never big to your mother. You still her baby forever, which is very cool that she keeps you grounded like that. And my sisters are the same way. My sisters, they don't care what you do, how much it paid. You ain't impressing me.
Unless somebody else to take a picture.
Yeah.
Oh, they get
Look,
mad.
can you take a picture? You like, you know what, bro? Look.
Yeah, but we definitely reflect on it. And when we get together for holidays, a lot of the times it's just like, man, like personally, I'm always blown away by how funny everybody is. Like my entire family, all my siblings, my mother's funny. My father passed, but my father was super funny. My uncles are hilarious. It's like, damn, everybody has that something in them. Like they just know.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We are talking to comedian Tony Rock. Tell us a little bit about your foundation, the My Rock Diabetes Foundation.
Yeah, My Rock was started after a few years after my dad passed. My father had diabetes. He had an ulcer that burst, and they couldn't treat the ulcer because of the diabetes, and they couldn't treat the diabetes because of the ulcer, and it just a bunch of health complications. And once I started making some strides in the business and getting a little bit of money, my sister and I decided we should do something to honor. So My Rock Diabetes Foundation is just to educate people about diabetes because it's not the end of the world. It's a very livable disease. You can change your diet. You can literally change the whole course of your diabetes just by changing your diet, a little bit of exercise, eating healthy. But if you know better, you do better. So our goal is to just enlighten people and let them know better so they can do better.
Me rocking with Tony Rock, who's in Good Nights this weekend, doing some great things tonight and tomorrow night. So we had this text thread with a bunch of guys on it. So I got to get you locked into this conversation. Okay. So the biggest thing that blows up the text thread is the best rapper ever. To ever rap. Yeah. And it goes, I'm a Kool Moe Dee guy.
Okay.
That's my guy. Kool Moe Dee, Nas, that's my guy.
Okay.
Who's your guy?
Now, see, this is why this is the best question ever. This is why this is the best barbershop question ever.
Yeah, sports shop.
Any question.
Like top 5 rappers or top 5, best Eddie Murphy movie, stuff like that is the greatest conversation starter ever because there's never going to be 2 people with the same answer.
There's no right answer.
No right answer, but people will defend their answer to the death.
I'm talking about we have
to shut it off.
2 hours of arguments about this, man. We have to shut it down.
That's why it's the best.
They're so passionate about it, man.
Yeah, it should be a question you ask on dates if you want to get the girl to talk. Because, on dates, people are very hesitant about what they ask. You should just sit down for dinner like you look lovely. Who's your favorite rapper? And that'll take the whole dinner right there. Because it's never going to be the same.
You're 100% right about that.
So my guys, I can't say one. I'd say Biggie.
Oh, see, Biggie's in my top 5.
Nas.
Yeah.
Rakim.
Oh, yeah.
I like Grand Poobah. I like LL.
Yeah.
Scarface is incredible. So, I could go all day.
Did you ever aspire to be a rapper, you? Because you seem
I'm sure I did it some point.
You got that flow. It seems like you could be a rapper.
I'm sure at some point I was like, hey, I should do this. But that was probably just my environment.
Yeah, okay.
I was in the hood. And just like, how am I going to get out of here?
But you laugh at some guys in the business that try to do other things. But, rap, you just kind of look at them like, oh, yeah? You gonna make a rap album, huh?
Yeah.
You just gotta look at it. You say, yeah, okay, I see you.
You know why I didn't? Because I probably had real friends that
said, man, no, don't do it.
Man. And that's the problem with the world is that there's too many yes men around certain people. Certain people, they just don't have real friends.
We talk about that all the time.
I said, where your people?
We said it all the time.
That's my code.
They have no friends.
If I ask where your people,
yeah.
That's
a lot. Like look at the world. You like that guy clearly doesn't have real friends,
right?
Because the real friend is like, yo, what are you doing, bro? Like, what do you can't do that.
Like, what are you doing, man? You making us all look bad.
Donald Trump doesn't have real friends.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, we're gonna storm the Capitol. A real friend would be like, yo, you just told everybody to run up in the Capitol. What are you doing, bro?
No, bro. You may want to fall back on that one now. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what you say.
Real friends check you. That's a real friend. The guy you're gonna argue with and later on go, hey, let's go get something to eat. That's a real friend. I can't have yes men around me because I'll write a joke and go, you guys think this funny? Yeah. And I'm on stage bombing because they was like, yeah, it was funny. Like, no, I want friends like, nah, you don't. That's not it, bro. That's not it.
That don't even make any sense, man.
Yeah. And you know who's that for me? My sisters. That ain't funny. I thought it was good. It ain't good. Like, okay.
Like try again. You're like, okay, all right. I'll
you got to have real people around you, man.
Outstanding. We're talking with Tony Rock, who's going to be at Goodnight this weekend. And Friday.
And if you're watching this on the feed, I have on the worst derby hat of them all.
Yes.
I have the I snuck in the derby hat.
I snuck in the derby.
Oh my God.
There will be somebody that shows up in the derby this weekend that's gonna look just like that.
That's right.
They're gonna look just like that. So I can buy everything in here
with a mint julep in their head.
Where we going?
Yeah, I'm going 1 year. I've never been, but I'm going 1 year.
He said I'm going 1 year. So I always love to ask this question, man. I always like to find out. So what's probably been like as you traveling around, you're doing stand up. Probably the one thing that make you just say, now this is completely odd. I've never seen this before.
Oh man, a lot of odd stuff happens in the comedy club.
Yes, and we've heard some stories too on this show.
I had I was in Florida once. I remember I was in. Oh, okay. Here's one. I was in L.A. once. I get on stage and the lady's yelling out, like young lady, kind of shapely and nice looking, and she's screaming out, "I love you, Tony. I love you." And I'm like, "Oh, I love you too, baby." And I just got on stage, and she kept screaming, "I love you so much." And I'm like, "Okay, let me work. I gotta, And she says, "I have 7 piercings I want to show you." And I stop and go, "Okay, now you have my attention." And she showed me 7 piercings. All 7 piercings.
He said, "All right, now we can look."
Yeah,
that sounds like a Florida story.
Yeah. And no, Florida was a young lady that said, when I got on stage, she screamed out, "I love you," and then she walked out the room. And I'm like, okay, I guess she loved me. She was wanting to say that. Yeah. But what she had did was walked out the room and went to the green room.
Wow.
And told the opening act that was in the green room, "Hey, can you leave? I want to be in here when Tony comes off stage."
Wow.
And he said, "Well, come in and sit down." And she's like, No, I want to be in here naked when Tony comes off stage."
No way.
And he said, "The room is yours." And he walked out. Yeah. But
he said, "Feel free."
Unbeknownst to me, the whole rest of my set, I'm on stage talking and performing, and her boyfriend is looking for her.
No way. No way.
So about 5 minutes before I got off stage, the boyfriend busts in the green room and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And they have a big fight right behind the green room's right behind me. There's a door on stage to go to the green room, and they're in there screaming and yelling. And I'm still on stage performing. And when I get off stage and say goodnight, as soon as I walk in the green room, my feature act was like, "You just missed it." Like they literally just left as you were walking in. And he tells me the story, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" And he's like, "Yeah, you missed it."
Yeah. That is completely.
I told you we hear so every time we hear a story we go, okay, all right. Never thought I'd hear that before.
That lines up too. We rocking with Tony Rock, man. So it's interesting. I ask this question a lot of people, and I'm gonna ask you the same. Are you doing exactly what you want to do right now?
Oh yeah. I'm the guy that I tell young black men all the time. I say black men because I talk to young black men the most, but I talk to all young men, and I tell them that I'm the guy that is actually living his dream. I'm the guy that had a dream as a kid, and I get to do it every day. And it's like, stick to the dream and follow the dream, and the dream dies when you die.
Nice.
You know.
Wow.
Hey man, then you live all the days of your life when you're doing exactly what you're doing. Man. That's what's so important.
And
I
tell them, like, don't let your friends talk you out of what you want to do. If you want to be whatever, don't let your friends or your, the money dictate whatever it is you want to do, because the money isn't the most important thing. It's like being happy with what you do every morning, waking up, being excited about having the job you always wanted.
Yes,
is better than the check. Now the check's nice. Don't get me wrong, but to be able to say, hey, I'm in Raleigh this week, and the next week I'm here, and then I've got to go hit. It's pretty cool.
So what you got coming up? I mean, what's the next project you think you're working on?
The murder of Will Smith. No, I'm kidding.
You stupid.
I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. That's a good one. Very nice.
I have people standing by. No.
Very nice.
The next project, I'm actually pitching a TV show right now. Okay. Long story short, I wrote a movie. I shopped it around. It got a lot of positive feedback. There wasn't much movement on it. This was right before COVID. So while COVID was, we were down for COVID, I rewrote it and turned it into a 7-episode series. And I got to repitch it now and go back out. And it's really, I know I'm biased because I wrote it, but I've let a few friends read it, and they're like, man, this is it. It's like a 10-year labor of love. Oh, wow. Nice. And everybody that's read it so far is like, man, this is really good. So I just want to get that out and pitch it and get it picked up and on a network somewhere, and hopefully you guys see it soon and you're going to say, damn, that's the project he was talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Wow, that's awesome. We are rocking with Tony Rock.
Yes.
Well, we're talking NBA playoffs, so.
Yeah, Brooklyn Nets
who you
swept right out of the playoffs. Thank you for talking playoffs. Thank you. Didn't win one game.
Whose fault was it? Kyrie?
Oh,
Was it Steve?
Yeah.
Nash? Was it KD? Whose fault was it?
Steve Nash was severely outcoached.
Yep. We said that. Yep.
Their defense kind of locked KD down, and Steve Nash didn't have a plan for how we're gonna
not any plan.
Like, okay, nothing. They're doing this, we have to do this to counteract that. Kyrie and KD balled, but they just Celtics were too much, man. Yeah.
Way too.
Plus, it was a 2 seed versus 7 seed.
Yeah.
Right. A 2 seed is supposed to be the 7 seed. Yeah. We just wanted them to win because
but you should have really been a 7 seed. You got
right.
That's a lot of talent.
Right.
You had a lot of talent. Yeah. But then again, as we pointed out before, well, it's the reason they was a 7 seed.
Yeah. But look, they changed the mandate right before. Did you guys realize what happened? Now they changed the mandate in New York to let Kyrie play right before baseball season started. You know why?
Because the Yankees.
Because then all the white players would have had to say, I'm not vaccinated either, and I'm not getting the vaccine. And then Kyrie wouldn't have been so vilified.
See?
But they wanted to keep Kyrie the villain, so it's like, let's just change the mandate, because then if these guys over here have to say the same thing, then Kyrie don't look like such a demon.
I just played.
They changed it.
Kyrie said he was a martyr.
Now that I don't know about it. You know what a martyr is, bro? You know what a martyr is?
That's the same thing we just said. We just said the same thing.
Just say, hey man, I took some shots.
Yeah, that's it. But now you're a martyr. Come on,
bro. You know what a martyr is?
Everybody says the same thing. Like Kyrie, wrong word, bro.
Dude,
wrong word.
A martyr?
Like you picked the wrong word, Kyrie.
Exactly.
But he tried though. He tried.
It was a good effort. It was a good attempt. It was a good attempt for people that don't know what martyr means.
Exactly. We had to get him a definition a while ago.
Oh my God.